news. And I usually, as you know, I try to stay with the overall trend. So if the overall trend is up, uh, I'll try to stay in that direction. So that was interesting. Let's take a look at dollar yen. And when we get into news trading, uh, we're going to isolate a couple of days on the chart and just get into a couple of news trading strategies. You had a lot of goodies here. You had our triangle, as you can see, didn't make a new high, didn't make a new low. All right, we had a triangle there. All right, we had a, what do you call it here? A price trap. But because the market is in a bit undecided, because it's been like this for a while, there's no real bias either way on this. However, at the news event, our option would always be to enter at a candle close outside of the box. So in this case, this would have been way up here, and that would have certainly produced about 30 pips so far, with almost no drawdown. Okay. Let's take a look at another pair. Let's look at Aussie dollar. And Aussie dollar has a rather subdued reaction to it. And here's our price trap up here. Nice thing about this is that by waiting for the candle to close, you would not have been tricked into going long here. Okay. That's a nice thing about waiting for a candle close. So, this is pretty easy to see. And our entry here, I may have been stopped out on this trade. Okay, because if I were to enter here, my stop would be no more than 10 pips for me, and that was 16. So I may have gotten popped. The traditional way will be to put your stop at the last swing high, which still would have kept you in the trade. Once we start trading live, what I'm going to do is place 3 trades on every situation that makes itself available. So I'm going to place if I can type that fast, I want to place a aggressive trade entry with an aggressive stop, a moderate trade entry with the moderate stop, and then a conservative trade entry with a conservative stop. Now I have tools where I could do a lot of this by just dragging and dropping stuff on the chart. But for those who may not know how to handle certain functions, I'm going to do everything by hand, as they say. Okay, so each trade entry is going to have 3 entrances. Also, something we touched on, I think the last lesson, was currently this market is trying to go short, and this is news driven. And if you remember, if the market is going short, when we open a new candle, the first business of the new candle is to make the upper wick in a short market. In a long market, the first business of a new candle is to make the lower wick. Do you follow me on that? And here's a perfect example of it. It made this whole wick first, finally came back to the open, and now it's on its way down. Does everybody see that? Okay, the first order of business, now that the news is broken, it looks like it's going short. First order of business is for the new candle to make the upper wick. Okay, it'll always make the opposite wick. Let's take a look at, I want to look at dollar crosses. Let's look at dollar franc. And again, dollar franc had a very subdued response to the news. Here's our 8:30 candle right here. And again, if you take a look at our price trap, here's our price trap right here. And keep in mind, since we're only going to enter a trade at the close of a candle above the trap, let me open this up a little bit. Here is our closed candle above the trap, and this would be our entry right here. On the native chart, our stop would be down here, which is about 12 pips, which is, reasonable. And so far we have about 30, so this would have worked out well. Also, in the future, what I want to do on days when there's major news at 8:30, the day before, I will, if you guys can remind me, I'll make an announcement that on the day before a major news event, we will try to come into the room at 8:15 or even 8 o'clock so we can talk things through and set some trades up with our price traps or with whatever we see. All right. Anyone have a particular pair that they want to look at now that we see what's going on with the news? I know in my other room I have a couple of robots that do this, so I'm happy to see this right now. There's one pair I'm a little concerned with, but I know my robot caught the others. So and I have some other friends in a couple of other chats that are trading live, and I know that they're quite happy now too. Mike Schumann is saying pound yen, please, maybe hourly. I don't know what you mean by maybe hourly, but let's take a look at pound yen. And pound yen had a bunch of stuff on it. We had a few guys did very, very well with pound yen in one of the other rooms. And you see we had our area here marked right here. And you see price pulled down from the area, made a belly, came back, touched it. We had a couple of people picked up 20 pip scalps right here on this trend line break. So this is the hourly, Mike. And no, hourly he asked for. Okay, Mike, what is it that you want us to look at? Or what was your concern on the hourly? And I'm waiting for Mike to type. Well, I wouldn't look at it for a long, Mike, at the moment. Because it's obviously already long, unless you want to wait for the pullback. And if that were the case, let me go back to pound yen. If that were the case, I'd go down to maybe a 5-minute on the pound yen and then look for a pullback inside that. Because remember, on a 1-hour chart, there are 12 5-minute candles in that 1-hour candle. So here would be my opportunity for a long now. You follow that, Mike? But okay, I got killed trying to short it yesterday. I'm not sure, Mike. I don't know what you were shorting, or I don't know how you were shorting it. Did you send me any screenshots? I always ask you guys, send me screenshots so I can help you guys figure some of this stuff out. I have 3, but yeah, if you don't send me the screenshots, it's hard for me to know, what you were doing and why you were doing it. Yeah, but you have to send me the screenshots, Mike. That's the only way, I can really help you. All right, send the screenshots to my email, and then and everybody here that's worked with me for a while knows I will answer you and I will critique your screenshot. And I don't even want to say critique it. I'll give some more information because I don't want you to think this is a thing that you're going to be criticized. All right. Yep, Mike. I know that there are a lot of price traps. That's why I like them. It's repeatable. They're all over the place. But if you remember, I mentioned location, location, location. Okay, it's where the price trap happens. And we talked about a few key locations to look for. Okay, we're looking for price traps at logical points of support or resistance. We're looking for price traps in the middle of an already established trend. We're looking for price traps at or near the psychological numbers, the 00, the 50, the 25. So we've definitely covered the location aspect of it. Okay. Um, okay, yeah, I'll try to spend a little time with you one on one, Mike, to help you sort through that. But we did cover this, unless you weren't there for those particular days. And I did mention every price trap isn't tradable. You want to pick the best looking price trap under the best looking situations. Um, so I'm just showing you a couple of things that I looked at with another group I was working with. Let me open this. Let me go back to 1 hour. And what I pointed out here was, the number of pullback trades, or a couple of people did very well on these pullbacks. So I'm happy about that. And we had our area marked, as I mentioned, and we had a trend line break here. Someone grabbed this, and I marked it. So I just want you to see that the simplicity does work. And Mike is saying, I was there, but don't do so well with webinars. Okay, Mike, understood. All right, not a problem. Any questions, or does someone else have another chart we want to take a look at? Let's look at the gold versus the dollar. Ah, that's interesting. Okay, gold is dropped because the dollar is gaining strength. And look at this beautiful channel we've got here. I'll draw it right up in there. Let me go right up to that high. That's a beautiful channel. That's a very tradable situation. And it appears we're going to stop right in here. Okay, so this could come right back up to the top again. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised at that. And Helen's saying Aussie Chef, we'll touch on that. And when we get to individual candles, and we get to things like pin bars, there's what's interesting about this candle. When most people see a pin bar, they always see it's already done. Wow, look at this gap in gold. This is where it closed, and this is where the next candle opened. Oh, okay, so gold's going to be a little bit odd to work with. Now this room is going to max out in a minute. I'm just waiting for an email from these guys so we can try this other room. Okay, I'm just looking for the demo. Okay, but to go back to my point, pin bars are generally already formed, like this one. This is already formed a lot of times when you see them in the textbooks. What we're going to learn when we start looking at individual candles is what you would love to see is one candle on its own make its way all the way down to a level of support or resistance. 90% of the time, that candle is going to hit that area and pull back. You see, this pin bar is nice and powerful because this one candle on its own traveled 30 pips up to hit the top of this channel. That's very, very important. Very important. When that one candle makes that journey all by itself, it will be exhausted when it gets there. Okay, someone's trying to just okay. Oh God, we're gonna max out again in a minute. Shoot. Oh, this is frustrating. All right, okay, we're maxed out again, but I want to try this other log me in room. But what I want to point out is that when you get one candle makes that journey all alone, those are almost always going to turn around. But you want the journey to be sizable. You got what I'm saying? You don't want it to be uh, just a couple of pips away, like this situation here. Let me roll back, see if I see another one. No, that's not a great one. Well, just my luck. There's aren't any here on gold. But let's take a look at Aussie Chef. There may be one on Aussie. Was that Aussie Chef that she asked about? Helen asked about Aussie Chef. Okay, so let's take a look at Aussie Chef. Okay. What time frame, Helen? And I'm waiting for Helen to daily or 1 hour. So this is the 1 hour. Let's go out to the daily. And what do you guys see there? Now, I'll do this since today is going to be a bit of a review day, and we're going to jump around to another room. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and I'm going to mark my areas, and I'm marking this high. That's the most dominant closing high there. I'm going to mark this low. This is the most dominant low. So right off the bat, you can see this is going to give us a pretty decent, this could give us a pretty decent range here. Let me grab one of these and bring this down here. And I'm using this high because it's the most powerful closing high. And I'm using this candle wick to make the range. You got me? I'm ignoring this extreme and I'm going more for what's in the middle. Yeah, everybody understand that? And this is a Lewism thing, so it's a bit different than how some other people would teach this. And I'll keep that as a, I can't get these other people in here. All right. So we've got a couple of scenarios here. Anyone want to just type in what they see, what they think is going to happen here? Just curious. This is a daily chart, remember. Well, we have to wait. Very good, Ravinko. We're 5 bars in one direction. Okay, and all of this is generally consolidation. And I'm willing to bet you on a higher time frame, this is a huge price trap. So that's good, Daryl. Okay, Ravinko is has the most accurate information for our current needs. Is that we're 5 candles in a row right here. Okay, so I'd be looking for a break of this and possibly another shot back down to the bottom because we went to the bottom, hit the top. We hit the top. We have not hit the bottom yet. Not to say that it won't. You got me? But if it does break this trend line, it will give a very good scalping opportunity to grab a few pips on the way back. Did everybody see that? You could certainly scalp this very, very nicely on a lower time frame. All right, so very good, Ravinko, for seeing the 5 bars. Daryl for seeing the consolidation, very good. So now that we have these lines in here, let's see if we can find the price trap on the higher time frame and see where that is. Well, you see on the weekly, it's basically these 2 candles. All right, if we go to a monthly, let's see if it shows up on a monthly somewhere. And there it is on the monthly. I want to bring this over a little bit. And it won't go over. Okay. Uh, Open it up. And here you can see clearly on a monthly, there's our price trap right here. This doji. And not only was it it closed the doji in the middle, which told you, well, which told me anyway, that this was going to be locked up for a while. So you see, whenever you have those large ranges on a certain time frame, is that also called an outside candle? Yes, it is, Ravinko. This is called an out. No. Ravinko, this is not an outside candle. I'll show you what a classical outside candle looks like. Oh, we don't have any on this chart. The outside candle, this is an outside candle. This one, Ravinko. because it engulfs the prior candle. So this would be an outside day if you were looking at that terminology. And I'm looking for an inside day. We don't really have an inside day here on this chart. This one is close. Here's an inside day right here. Ravinko. Okay, when the body is full. No, it doesn't have to be when the body is full, Ravinko. It just has to. Oh yeah, well the body does have something to do with it. I'm sorry, I'm confusing two terms. But you see, this is an inside day where all of the action in this day took place right in here, in between this high and low. So this is called an inside day. And where was that outside day? Oh, we didn't really have one. I picked one that was pretty close. Oh, here's an outside day where all of the activity of this whole candle totally engulfed this prior candle. So this would be an outside day. You see that, Ravinko? It's kind of the opposite of a price trap. All right. Outside days, depending on how you look at it, are often thought of as extensions of the current move. Because if I were to put trend lines here across this outside day, you'd see that we have an expanding wedge, in which we didn't cover that yet. We will. But you see, that's expanding. If I were to draw these lines out here, that would be an expanding wedge. And let me just clear this up. And on this inside day would be more of a traditional wedge. And I'll bring this down here like this. And I'll draw this here. And then I'll put another line across the bottom. And as I mentioned the last time we were together, for those of you that may have trouble finding wedges, this is how you do it. You look for what I call a pregnant candle situation, where this is the woman's body and this is the belly. Okay, and now if we go down to a lower time frame, you'll see how that wedge is in play. Let's squeeze this in a little bit. Oh, I have a bunch of lines on the chart. That's not helping me at all. Okay, there's a wedge there that we drew from a higher time frame. Let me get rid of this trend line. Oh, this is the trend line, by the way, from that higher time frame also. But now we're on a lower time frame chart. We can certainly look for a way into this trade. Okay, but you see that this wedge was from that pregnant candle situation. And let me get rid of this so there's no confusion. Delete, get rid of this, delete, get rid of this, delete. All right. So now if we go back to, I think it was the monthly, you'll see that that wedge was from here. So if you have a problem identifying wedges, look for this sort of pregnant situation, and then you can put trend lines across the highs. Mike, I see a price trap that broke lower. So is it a good idea that it will meet the two times that price trap and go lower? I cannot figure out what you're asking me. Um, Mike, I see a prior price trap. Okay, so Mike says he's lost at the moment. Um, all right. Any other pairs anyone else wants to look at? And let me clean up this chart. Okay, I hope that helped you out, Helen. I'm not sure what it was you were looking for on that chart, but let's take a look at some charts here. Ravinko, just a quick question. Will we be going into outside bars and inside bars later? Yes, we will. When we get into individual candles, we will cover that. Okay. Um, and then there are a number of things, and individual candles will come in will become very powerful once we move into moving averages. And when we see how moving averages and individual candles work together, you'll really see some power in that for scalping and other forms of trading. Okay, but once we finish with pivot points and Fibonacci, then we'll move to moving averages. Okay, because pivot points we didn't get a chance to spend much time on, and Fibonacci takes a little bit of time because it's a very, very I don't want to say rumor-filled subject, but it's a subject that has a lot of points of view, and they're all valid. I just try to use tools like that to my advantage and not overcomplicate things. Ken is okay. I can't answer. Ken is typing me a question privately, and I can't get into that at the moment, Ken. But eh, do you have my email? Um, okay, that's my email, Ken. So if you could send me an email, uh, I can try to help you out there. Uh, all right, now uh, let's have a time frame and a pair. I just want to just review the highs and lows, ultimate high, ultimate low, that kind of thing. And I'm going to get some volunteers, whether they like it or not. And I'm still waiting for this email. I may have to call them back for the login to this other room. Um, okay, time frame and a pair, and preferably a time frame higher, 1 hour and higher. Okay, Pavel, give me a time frame and a pair, please. And I'm waiting for Pavel to Aussie yen. Okay. Aussie yen and 1 hour. Okay. Ooh, this is a hell of a chart here. Yeah, let's go back a little bit and see. All right. Do you want to take control and do the levels? That's a beautifully trending pair between a combination of. Okay, sure. So request control, and I'll give you the mouse, and then we'll pick it up from there. I'm waiting for Pavel. Uh, Pavel, if you go up to the upper, yeah, if you go to the upper right-hand corner, there should be a button up there that will um, allow you to request control. Let me see something here. Maybe I need to do it on. Oh, it's not there. Okay, so it may be something on my side. Let me just see what's going on. Let me see something here, Pavel. Hang on. Okay, Pavel, I just made you the host. See if there's a button there. Can you do you see the screen? Oh, accept. All right, you see the screen, Pavel? You can move your mouse over to the chart. Yeah, move your mouse over to the chart. Okay, there you go. Okay, now give me ultimate high, ultimate low, and some levels in between. It's a little different here on this particular version of Adobe because I'm the host, and prior to that, I entered the room as a participant. So the buttons are in a slightly different place. You just get it close, Pavel. I know it's a little buggy. I'll clean it up. I can see what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, you done, Pavel? Okay, if you can let go of control. Um, Wait, maybe I have to do it. Yeah, let me see. It might be on my side. It's a little no. Oh, okay, I have it again. All right. What Pavel did was quite good. So far, this is the ultimate high of the day because this candle's not finished. This may go higher, but that's good. This was outstanding. What he did right here. This was really, really outstanding because he identified these wicks as being um, high, and I hope he noticed that when once it was broken, that this became the floor now. Over here it was the ceiling. Over here it was the floor. That's excellent. Really, really excellent. And here's my rule, as I've mentioned a number of times. I don't consider an area broken until it closes above, comes back to retest, and then takes off again. So that for me was excellent. That was excellent. All right, this area here, let me close in here a little bit. This area here was pretty good. Let me go back because we couldn't see all of that. This area here is good because you've got all these highs and you've got this small cluster of highs. And again, following my rule, or the rule that I like to use, is here we had a close above and we had a retest, but the retest did not take off. The retest closed below this level again. So at this point, I can't say this level was broken. Do you follow me? So the fact that he grabbed all of these is also very good. And the low is pretty obvious here. There's one other area that I particularly like, only because it was a pretty obvious price trap right here. Okay, and you could have dropped the level right in there. Okay, but spotting this was excellent, Pavel. Excellent. And here, I don't know if you even paid attention to the fact that we went above, but then the breakout failed because it closed below. When that happens, you have to wait for another close above and then the retest, which was right here. So here we had the close above. Here we had our close above, and we had our retest, this one candle retest, and then price took off. If you wanted to be more of a purist, you could wait for the close above, and then you could have certainly taken any one of these price traps, or a number of price traps in here, in this area, right there in particular. Okay, and you could have taken any of that long, but that was very good, Pavel. Very, very good. Okay. Anyone else want to give this a try, before I start volunteering people? Um, and these levels would come into play today, with the exception that it's non-farms. Now, when we start talking about trading support and resistance and supply and demand, we're actually going to go back and do it the other way, where we look in the past first. What we're doing right now is looking at current first and then going back to the past to identify it. Give me a pair and a time frame, Mike. Mike, give me a pair and a time frame. There's no embarrassment here, and that's really really important to understand. Wait, it has to be higher than 5 minute, Mike, because we can't go down to any lower time frames from there. You know what I'm saying? Someone still has control of the mouse. It looks like. Pavel, is that you? Do you still have control? I thought I saw the mouse dance around down there. Yeah, I have. I see that. No, but I see you're still moving your. I can see you moving your mouse. That's kind of weird. Okay, let me just figure out how to fix that. Um, now we will get together briefly on Monday because I want to try out this other room. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, Pavel, how to undo the host thingy. Uh, but I don't see your name in the list. Your name has disappeared. Um, oh, let me roll back up to the top. Oh, okay, got it. Oh, I see. It's yeah, make participant. All right, Mike. Okay, I'm gonna make Mike the uh, I'm gonna make Mike a host. Okay, Mike, you have the mouse, um, and a pair in the time frame. Oh, so it's pound dollar 1 hour. Okay, Mike. So you have it. You do the pound dollar 1 hour. Oh, let me give you control here. I gotta call these guys back because I don't see this. Okay, Mike, you have it. You're not done, Mike. Find something in the middle. Find something in the middle, Mike. And if you don't hear my voice, it's because I'm waiting for Mike. Okay, you done, Mike? If you're done, Mike, just okay, I guess so. Okay, so hang on, let me make a participant. Lou, isn't it good to use line chart when identify? I was just going to get into that, Pavel. For someone like Mike, the line chart might be better for him. Okay, he pegged the ultimate high, and again, as I mentioned, I would bring this down to this high. I would use the highest close from one candle, and then the highest high point somewhere in the middle. I split the difference. So I would use this more as my area. The ultimate low here, he nailed that pretty well. The middle on this one is tricky, but I'll just show you what Pavel did, and you'll see here. I'm looking at this cluster of wicks because if now, and this is a clue to help out. When you see a cluster of wicks like this, if there's a gap to the left and a gap to the right, then these wicks are kind of standing out there on their own. So I'll come up here. I will bring this up here to the highest close on this cluster of wicks. And you see how we caught this right smack on the bottom. You see that? Same thing here with these particular wicks right here. If I wanted to draw another line in here, I would look at this. And you see here, we caught a bunch of bottoms in here, and we never had an actual break. Because here it closed below, but on the retest, it went back inside the channel. And here it closed below here, but on the retest, it went back inside. So all of these were fake outs. Okay. Oh, well, okay. Okay, Alan's saying with the wicks, and then he's saying I have a lag. You have a lag in audio or in the chart, Alan? Alan, you have a lag in the audio or the chart? So I'm waiting for Alan to respond. And I don't know how much of a lag there is, so it's hard to know. Okay, Alan is typing. Does everyone see this concept while Alan is typing? When you have a group of wicks, like you see this group of wicks right here, these guys, I would mark this and try to use this for the rest of the trading day, this level. I want you to see that. I would use this level right here for the rest of the trading day. This would be a key level. All right, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks. Nothing could close below it. All right, and I would use that going forward as a possible area where we could get. Alan, could you please about the cluster of the wicks? Oh, he wants me to explain about the cluster of the wicks again. Helen is typing. I just want to see Helen's question. Oh, you have a long lag. Okay, I don't know what to say about that lag. I'm not sure if it's on my end or your end. Okay, Ravinko saying there's no lag on his side. Jem is saying it's okay. Okay. Helen, is there a link for record? That will be coming next week. We're going to have all the recordings hosted in one place. I've been looking for a couple of decent options, and I also want to be able to host PDFs and videos I have from other, folks that I think may be helpful to you. Because, it ain't all about me. There's a lot of other good stuff that's out there. And, I've sat through 6 or 7 hours of different videos and maybe only grabbed one little bit out of it, but hey, it was the one bit that helped me. Okay. So there's a lot of good things coming. I still have to work out some things with the host here. I'm not sure how all that's going to go. Okay. Okay. It's going to be volunteer time. Dennis is Dennis IZ. Can you give me a time frame and a pair? Oh, I realize I don't know if you've been to many of these lessons or not, but let's just see. Okay. We need to work on. Well, we'll do a 30 minute for you, Dennis. All right. Let me clean this up. Okay. On this exercise, I prefer 1 hour and higher, Dennis, but you're doing dollar yen and 30 minute, you said. Okay, Dennis. Let me make you, I'll make you the host, and then you can grab control and ultimate high, ultimate low. I think somewhere in there you have to request control of the mic. The mic. I keep saying mic. Oh God, I've listened to too much rap in my younger days. Yeah, it's I kid you not. Dennis, can you see the chart? Can you put your mouse over the chart? I see your mouse moving around frantically. If you go to the upper right hand corner, there may be a button there that will let you yeah, go to the upper right hand corner of the Adobe room, and there should be a button there that will let you request control. Yeah, try the upper right hand side is where it usually was. Okay, I'm not sure why you Pavel, where did you find it when you were looking for it? When you requested control, Pavel, these are some of the quirks. Okay. Oh, okay. Wait, Dennis found it. Okay. All right, Dennis, you got it now. Ultimate high, ultimate low, and levels in between. Ultimate high, ultimate low first, Dennis. Oh, I can't add anybody yet. Lou, when doing this, how much time do we have to see on the chart? Okay, usually on a 30-minute chart, you want like 2 days, 3 days. On a 1 hour and higher, I like to get 3 or 4 days. On an H4, I'd like to get a week. Okay, ideally. And the reason I give generalities is that some people's charts by default show a certain amount of time in their natural state, and you may have to adjust for that. Okay, did I answer your question, Pavel? Okay, Dennis, you're done? No, I didn't. Okay. So your question was, Lou, when doing this, how much time do we have to see on the chart? Well, what I was saying, Pavel, is on like a 30-minute chart, I want to see like 2 days, 3 days. And on an H1, I'd like to see 3 to 5 days. And on a daily, I'd like to see it at least a week or a little better. Does that make sense, Pavel? Because I'm generally trying to get the most pertinent recent information. Okay, so Dennis, I'm going to change the status. Oh, and that was Dennis IZ. Okay. All right, Dennis. All right, the ultimate high he has, and what we do here, Dennis, I don't know how many of the lessons you've been here for. We mark a range, and that's our range right there. Okay, this is a good spot here that you picked. I like this. I would have added the range in here. I would have used either one of these highs as the ultimate high, and this candle, because this is the last dominant closing price here. All right. I'm not exactly sure what you were shooting for down here, um, but if I move this up a bit, you see if I go to this high and then these lows, I get a more complete range. You see that? Because I'm catching these wicks and I'm catching all of these closing prices right here and that high. And as you can see, within a pip or two, this level held relatively well. This level was very, very well done. Okay, you see where we were the ceiling, the ceiling, the ceiling, the ceiling. We finally cracked through the ceiling. Price went up, came back and hit it, and now it's the floor, and then price took off again. So that was very well done. Okay, that was good. Um, thought it was a double top. Yeah, well, we haven't discussed double tops yet. We haven't discussed double tops, double bottoms. I'm just looking at areas that we can use as support and resistance, and I'd rather you looked at it that way first than look at it as double tops and double bottoms. Okay? And the reason is when we get into chart reversal patterns, just to give you a simple idea, many times these double tops and double bottoms uh, make a letter M. And I'd rather you just focus on it being support and resistance right now before we get into all of that. All right. And if we look at a double bottom down here, generally double bottoms make a W. All right. But those are candle reversal signals. They have their own way that we're going to trade them and all that. So you are right in identifying that as a double top. But the way I teach this, we first try to identify the levels. Then later we'll combine it with individual candles and with chart reversal patterns. Got it? So you were 100% right. I don't know how many of the lessons you've been here for. What I'm trying to do is kind of demystify price action, because once you can see that, you can really see what's going on the chart. Okay? So you were correct. All right? This is a double bottom. Okay, I prefer to see a few more candles in between, but this is, okay for right now. This is a double top, and this is a good one because it's got the right amount of candles in it. Um, so everyone see that this area here was well done, because here you had these clusters of highs. You see, none of these candles could get above this high price here, this doji, or maybe, let me open this up so everybody can see it. None of these candles could get above this cluster here. So down here, I would bring this down to the highest dominant closing price. And notice that at this closing price, as we followed price across, it tapped it right to the pip here, right to the pip, right to the pip, right to the pip. So it held as a floor. And once it became a floor, after we broke it, it held and nothing closed below this level again. So seeing where this was once the ceiling and now becoming the floor, that's very good eyes. Okay. Um, is the second leg too shallow for the double top? We're not talking about double tops, Alan. I really want to keep it on point here for spotting levels of support and resistance. Okay, and then what we do is we double check to see how strong will this be in the future. What historically has happened. We'll zoom in on this level and see if there's an area back here that makes sense. Like the last time we touched this area, the last time we actually touched it, what happened? Okay, and we go back here, and this is the area here, and I don't see anything really powerful here on the last touch. This candle looks like this was the last touch that started this huge drop. So let me just center this for a second. I come back here. Where was it? This candle here was the last touch. So now let's center that. Okay, and let's squeeze this in a little bit. And okay, here you can see on the last touch, we closed below. This candle wick came back, tested the area, and then from this price point right here, it started this one fall. You see that, Alan, Dennis? Okay, we identified this area, we went back, and the question we're asking, the last time a candle actually touched it, what happened? And here you can see that the last time we touched this level, it closed through it. This candle came back to retest. The retest, it didn't close back above the level, I should say, and then it continued short. So I have a reasonable expectation that this move now could go short and possibly down to this level. Okay. Now, the other thing I mentioned earlier was that you see how this one candle made this journey all the way up there by itself? That holds a hell of a lot more weight than a series of little candles creeping up to this level. And that's something that we'll cover when we talk about individual candles and how they behave. This was also very powerful because at one point this candle looked pretty much like this one, a solid full white candle that made its way all the way up to a given level and then turned around. So I can reasonably expect that this may come back down here at some point. And as you can see, it's a 4-hour chart, but you can see it's starting to collapse on us. Let's go to a 15-minute chart and take another look at it. And there you go. Okay, so on the 4-hour chart, it was that one candle went all the way up on its own, tapped that level. And as I mentioned before, when you get those huge dramatic candles that go all the way up there, it's usually a sign that that candle is exhausted. It's spent all of its energy trying to reach the top. And this is a very good example in a live chart. All right, did that uh, clear things up the way we're doing it, Dennis? I'm not saying that this is the best way. Okay, so don't get me wrong. There's a lot of different disciplines out there that all work. It all depends on how you look at it and what you're looking for. You got me? But I'm looking for the market to talk to me, to tell me what's going on. And I'm just waiting for Dennis IZ just to respond. Then I may take like a 5-minute break because I want to see. I'm waiting for the a link to try this demo in this other room. Okay. And do you have the link for the? We have three old recordings or three tape seminars of the many we've done. Uh, do you have that link, Dennis? Okay, great. So you understand that my way of going about this is a bit different than others. All right. It's volunteer time. Let's go with Manuel. Hello, Manuel. How are you? Can you give me a time frame and a pair? And let's wait for Manuel. Daryl, since you've been showing us how to find these levels, I started marking up weekly, daily, H4. Oh, yeah, it does work. Well, it works because it works. It doesn't work because I say so. I really want to be careful about that. I don't want to blow it up like I'm some genius or anything. You got me? It works because it just makes sense. Charts have memory. Um, okay, Manuel will send GJ I marked earlier this week. Okay, cool. So Manuel wants to look at pound dollar 30 minute. Okay, Manuel, all yours. Oh wait, now I have to make you the host, and then you have to request the what do you call it? You have to request control of the mouse. All right, and I think it's in the upper right hand corner somewhere on your side. You'll see it pop up in a minute. And again, Pavel, where did you find that? Pavel seemed to have found it pretty easily, and on my side, I don't see anything change. Uh, okay, you found it. Okay, so I'm going to give. Oh, there you go. Okay, all yours. And again, there's no audio because I'm, letting um, Manuel do his thing. And if you're done, Manuel, just, oh, okay, you're still looking, okay. Okay, cool. All right, Manuel. Let me just I have to wait a second for that to take effect. Okay. Ultimate high here was good. Again, I want to go to the last dominant highest close, and that would be here. And I know it's quirky. You were probably shooting for this. And then on the range, I would bring this down to catch this. Okay, it's a little wide, but oh shoot, you asked for a 30-minute chart, didn't you? I gave you a 15. I apologize. But that's okay. We'll stick with these levels anyway. The ultimate bottom, I'll clean that up a little bit. I apologize for that. It should have been a 30-minute chart. And I'll drag this one up here. Now in the middle here, this is kind of tricky. Okay, you see all these wicks here. All right, and you see this stuff. I would look here at this low or this low because they're the most recent. You got me? This is the most recent. And then if I wanted to pick a range, then I could bring this in here like that and make this the range because it catches all of these wicks. And again, this is a little advanced. It'll take you a minute to see this. But notice on every one of these breakouts above this top line, every one of these breakouts here failed. Every single one. We had a breakout, and then, my rule for a level to be broken, it's got to break out, it's got to retest and not close back in underneath the line, and then it's got to take off. Every one of these failed. You see that? So that's something you can kind of keep an eye out for also. And it takes a while. I'm not expecting everyone to get this the first day, but every one of these breakouts failed. Not one of them did what they were supposed to do, which is breakout, retest, not close back in here, and then take off. All right, so this level would be good. This is a good level also, in part because you caught this, and remember this wick is out here by itself, and you've got these bottoms here, and that same scenario, it broke through, came back to retest, but closed back above the level. So this was a fake out, not a breakout. And this is one way you can avoid the fake outs, is the market has to do what you want it to do or what you need to see. I'll put it that way. The market's going to go where it wants to go, regardless of what I think. Um, Fake outs are nice. Yeah, well, fake outs are nice setups by themselves, absolutely. And just a little. Now we didn't get into individual candles yet, but on the actual fake out candle, you could take a trade right above the high of the fake out candle. You got me? And we'll cover that later when we get to the individual candles. Okay, so the high of the fake out candle or the low of the fake out candle in this case. Now here, this was another news event, but assuming this was a more normal sized candle, this fake out candle right here, okay, one tick below the low of the fake out, we'd be short here. On the native chart, our stop would be up here, and then we'd be looking for a move down to the next level. But we'll get to that. All right. When we talk about individual candles. So what we want to do is double check, the strength of validity of this area. So I'm going to go out to like an H4, and I want to see where this top is. And here we go. If we go back here, we have a almost touch here. But if you look, the last time we were here, we had a fake out. Price broke up. Here we had the retest, and it closed back below the level. We had a fake out. The last time we touched this, we had a fake out, and price from that point on fell 190 pips. All right. So I have every reason to believe, or I can reasonably believe, that we may get some more momentum short. Okay. And that's how I would look at it until the chart shows me something else. Did everybody see that? And for those that are looking at bigger patterns, we have a wedge here because we couldn't make a new high, couldn't make a new low. Remember, when anytime the market can't make a new high, can't make a new low, it will make a wedge. All right. And when we start going into indicators, there'll be a couple of indicators we can match up with wedges that really give these things really high probability. All right. So you see how we walk through that, Manuel? I don't know how many of the lessons you might have seen or not seen. And I'm not saying that it's the greatest system in the world, but I've tried to make things less complicated and easier to see. And what makes it easier to see is to have the simple rules to follow. How to avoid the fake outs and all that. All right. Manuel, any question on that? Thank you for that, Helen. Manuel? Okay, great. Um, Now I want to get one more person in here. Let's give one of the lovely ladies a try. Helen, give me a time frame and a pair. And I prefer a higher time frame. We got kind of caught in the lower time frames. Okay, New Zealand CAD. Um, I'm looking for New Zealand CAD. I don't even know if that's in here. But I don't see that on this list. I could open a different broker. Could you pick something else, Helen? I don't see New Zealand CAD here unless I'm. Ba, ba, ba. Well, I'm going show all. Yeah, you're saying double click down here and put in New Zealand CAD, right? But if it's not in the broker, it may not show up. Yeah, it's not in the broker's list, so it won't show up. Ravinko, got it? If it's not in this list. So Helen, could you give me a different pair? Um, and for those of you that don't know, this is one of the shortcuts where you double click down here and you can either type in the symbol or you can type in the time if you wanted to go back to a specific time on the chart. Um, and I'm waiting for Helen to respond. Manuel is typing. Oh, there are plenty of little behind the scenes tricks with MT4. Maybe one day I'll put a bunch of them together and we can go over them. But Helen, I'm asking you to give me a different pair, please. Okay, CAD yen. CAD yen, and what time frame? What time frame, Helen? Well, pick one. 1 hour or 4 hour. You pick it, Helen. I'm trying to help you guys make decisions, so don't make me make the decision. Thank you. Okay, 1 hour. Making decision is. I'm going to sideline for a minute, Helen, on something. The reason that I don't want anyone in this room to be afraid of asking a question or trying to take control of the chart and doing something is learning as we get older doesn't become more difficult. It's our relationship to the fact that we don't know a certain thing becomes more difficult. If you were given a car that had the the steering wheel on the wrong side, and the gas and brake pedal reversed. After a while, you could learn how to drive that car. It'll be quirky and difficult in the beginning, but you can learn how to drive that car. Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay. So it's not that as we get older, we lose the ability to learn. As we get older, we have a different relationship with how we handle the fact that we may not know something. And a lot of adults become embarrassed or afraid to put themselves in a position where it looks like they don't know. Because many adults walk around with the concept that I'm X years old, or I do this for a living, or I've got this experience here, that experience there. They almost feel like they should know, or that everything should become easy. Okay? And it's a quirk in the adult mind. When you look at how much information a baby learns from the time it's born till it's 5, it learns several thousand words. It learns to read body language. It learns one, two, in some cases, three different languages. Okay. As we get older, we lose some of that childlike uh, mental flexibility because we get involved in other things and other distractions. All right. So when you're trying to learn something new, the fastest way to learn it, as long as there's not no fire or explosives involved. But the fastest way to learn it is to say, what would happen if I did this? Ooh, what happens if I do that? Ah, can I try? Can I try? Can I try? That's the fastest way to learn something, okay, as an adult, because the concept of not knowing something really bugs adults. Even though they're trying to learn something, they don't want to deal with the fact that right now you don't know it. And I overcome that by telling people that I'm smart enough to know when I'm dumb. And that's what I take advantage of. And that has allowed me to learn a massive amount of information in a relatively short amount of time. Also, with decision making, Daryl is saying we as humans have layers of things we think we know when in fact these could cloud our ability to learn. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So keep in mind your relationship with the fact that you don't know is what may cause you to struggle. It's not that you can't learn, but you never learned how to deal with the fact that you don't know. You understand that? It sounds weird the way I say it, but it's actually accurate. It's your relationship with the fact that you don't know is what gives you the trouble in learning. Not that you can't learn. Believe me, you'll learn new stuff your entire life. Okay, it's not so much ego as it is, it's a self-protective sort of thing built into us by society. After a while, you've been in enough classrooms and in enough environments where we've all seen somebody get kind of put down or put in their place because they didn't know a particular fact. And the protective part of our mind tries to keep us out of those situations. So consequently, you stop putting yourself in a situation where you may be laughed at or someone may criticize you, that sort of thing. But when you're on a mission to learn something that's important, what helps is to throw all of that out the window because it will do you no good. It will put no money in your pocket. So go back to being 5 years old. You know, oh, can I try? Can I try? In this room, in this environment, it is absolutely 10,010% okay to not know a certain thing. Because the whole goal of the room is to get you past that point and get you to the point where you do know it. Okay? I'm going to sideline just one more minute. Thank you for allowing me to do this. I have to talk about the art of decision making. Why I asked Helen to make a decision between the 1 hour and the 4 hour is that when you're a child, many of us are home with our mothers during the day in traditional settings. So I don't know everyone's setting out there. So if what I say doesn't fit your particular situation, it's just because I don't know what your situation is. But for the most part, when you're a baby, you're usually home with someone taking care of you. Usually it's the mom. and the mom tells you everything to do. Don't touch this, do touch that, eat this, stop throwing your food. And your mom gives you all the orders. All right. And so you don't have to really think about very much because she tells you what to do, and you know, fall in line. Then what happens in many families, dad comes home. So now the baby is looking at mom, who's been the boss all day. And now dad comes home and dad starts telling mom what to do. So the baby's like, well, wow, he must be the bomb. He's telling her what to do, and she tells me what to do all day. So you end up with your parents or your extended family basically telling you everything you need to do and when you need to do it when you're a child. When you go to school, your teachers tell you what to do. And then they send you home with paper, which is homework, which is them telling you what to do in an extended version because they're not there, but they sent papers. Do this when you get home. Then when you bring your homework home, your parents back up what the teacher said. Do your homework. So you end up in this situation where a great number of people tell you what to do and they make all your decisions for you. When you're little, you don't pick your clothes out. Your mother or father picks out your clothes, or your grandmother or your aunt, whoever raised you. As you get a little older and you get a little more vocal, then you can say, well, I like the blue one instead of the red one. So you get a little more choice, but you end up basically shopping where they take you. So even that decision's kind of out of your hands. You got me? When you get into middle school and you're a teenager, a lot of us are surrounded by something called peer pressure, where you don't want to appear to be the nerd, or you don't want to be like out of the clique. You want to be in with the cool crowd. You want to be in with the popular group. So because of that, you'll hear that, oh, if you want to be in with this group, you do this, you do that, you act this way. So again, indirectly, that group is telling you how to behave, telling you what to do. Then when you get out of high school, okay, and high school has different names in different parts of the world, but I'm talking about when you're finished and you're prepared to go to college or university, you are now going to go to a college or university where those teachers are going to tell you what to do. And because you're in college, many times your parents are going to continue to tell you what to do. Then when college or university is done, or if you get out of high school and don't go to college, generally many of the men go into their father's business. And I guarantee you, if you go into your father's business, your father will tell you what to do. Or many of these men go into the military. And the military is just a whole bunch of guys with uniforms on whose whole job is to tell you what to do loudly and as often as they can. Or if they don't go into their father's business or don't go into the military, they get a job of their own, and now they have actually given someone permission to tell them what to do 8 hours a day. This is what you do when you come to work. This is what time you're going to eat lunch. If you have to use the bathroom, let me know. This is what time you take your break, and they're telling you what to do. Or you will end up getting married. And I don't think I have to fill in the rest of that. Okay. Okay. You trust me. And you paid for the privilege to have someone come in and tell you what to do. And the lovely ladies in the room, believe me, they're very good at it. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying they're very good at it. Okay. So it's easy for someone to reach the age of 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, and they have never made one single decision in their life on their own without double checking or finding someone to tell them what to do. Okay? So what happens is, let's say you decide to buy a car, or let's say you're thinking of moving. Everybody in here, for the most part, everybody in here will pick up a phone or send a text or an email or something asking for someone else's opinion. What do you think? And it'll be like, I'm thinking of blah, 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 blah. And you're asking for their opinion. And that's not really what you're doing. What you're doing is you're asking them to tell you what to do. You've already got your mind made up, but you're not in the habit of making up your mind and then doing what you made your mind up. You're in the habit of having someone tell you what to do. So, ironically, many of the people that you call, they're only going to back up whatever you already thought about. So, if you want to move to a new neighborhood, or if you want to buy another car or something like that, you're going to call people that you psychologically know are going to back up your decision. You're not going to call the guy that's going to pick your decision apart. You don't want that. What you want is to have someone tell you what to do so your life is comfortable now. You're in that box, you're in that zone. And this way, if anything goes wrong, you can always say, well, so and so said, and then that kind of takes you off the hook. With trading, all of that goes out the window, all of it, because it's only you and only the chart. And for many people, when they come to trading, this is the first time in their life that they have ever had to sit down and make a decision on their own with no one to tell them what to do. And because they don't have practice in making decisions, they're going to, from time to time, make decisions that are less than ideal. You got me? So if you wanted to learn how to ride a bike, you got on the bike and you wiggled and wobbled and all that, and you fell off the bike a couple of times, that's part of learning how to ride a bike. There are going to be days when it doesn't work out right. But after you get it down pat, once you learn how to ride a bike, every day for the rest of your life, you can pick up just about any bike anywhere on any street in any country in the world, get on it and ride off. Learning how to make decisions is the same thing. So when I ask you guys to make decisions, there's a double a double meaning behind it. Okay, because when you are alone with your charts, a lot of guys join chat rooms and stuff because indirectly they're looking for someone to tell them what to do. You got me? There are a handful of guys that are guys and girls that are good traders that have gone past that. They decide they're going to go short on pound dollar, and they have their reason and they pull the trigger. They don't wait. They don't confer with a whole bunch of people. You got me? So a lot of what I try to do is I try to put you in situations where you use your mind, where you make the decision yourself, and you can get the practice in making decisions. Okay? So we were with, and thank you for letting me just rant on about that. And I'm going to cover that again when we get into trading psychology, because sometimes it's just a matter of making that one little adjustment, that one little tweak in what you do can make a huge difference in your trading. All right, so I think Helen was going to look at CAD yen. Helen, and I'm going to hang on. Let me find Helen's name on the list here. Where'd she go? This thing is acting really buggy today for some reason. I'm gathering that there was some other conversation going on that I missed. Where is Helen? Oh, there she is. Okay. Okay, Helen, you are the host. And if you can, Helen, okay, Helen, excellent. All right, all yours, Helen. Ultimate high, ultimate low, and some levels in between. You should have control, Helen. Oh, okay, there it is. You're requesting it. And there you go. Oh. Request control again, Helen. For some reason, it didn't kick in. All right. I just gave it to you. Yep, there you go. And we're looking at ultimate high, ultimate low, and some level in between. Grab the trend line tool, Helen. Don't worry so much about moving the chart. I know it's a bit quirky with the screen share thing. The trend line tool is in the top, just about in the middle of the screen. At the top of that toolbar, in the middle of the screen, pretty much. Top of the toolbar, middle of the screen. There you go. Right there. Okay, she went for the jugular. She went right to the middle. Remember, Helen, the idea is ultimate high, ultimate low, and then levels in the middle. Not sure what Helen's doing. Helen, the ultimate high and ultimate low. Look for the ultimate high, Helen, ultimate low, and levels in the middle. You still have control of the mouse. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, don't worry about cleaning it up, Helen. I'll do that. I know it's a little quirky. Ultimate high, ultimate low, and level in the middle. All right. Do you, when you're done, let me know. And if there's no audio, it's because I'm just watching Helen work. Okay, Helen's done. Let me just fix this. Okay. Now, Helen put quite a number of lines up here. The ultimate high, she pretty much has. And I'll put the range in right there. Okay, and this is what I really want you to see, Helen, is that ultimate high. Not so much the highest high, but what's the highest, most dominant closing price? That's what I wanted you to catch. The ultimate high is easy. Just look for the highest wick on the chart. I mean that's not uh, super difficult, but the art is in making sure you can find that dominant higher closing price, highest closing price. All right. Now, this level you picked, I thought was very good. I'm going to move this line out of the way. I'm going to put this down here for the moment. This level you picked, I thought was very good, in part because you have all of these highs here. You've got this cluster, 1, 2, 3, 4 highs, or wicks, I should say. And then as we go back, you can see here we broke through. It did the retest, but the retest closed back in here. So it was a fake out. You got me? And then it came back, and this time it closed through, did the retest, but this time the retest did not close in here. And this time the retest gave us a nice move down, about a 40 pip move down. So you see the difference between the fake out and the actual what we need to see. And again, what I need to see is a candle close below a level, come back and test the level, not close above it, and then make its way back down. Okay, that's how you avoid the fake outs. That's going to save you a lot of trades in and of itself. Okay, now Daryl is saying daylight U.S. saving times begins Sunday. London does not change till end of March, meaning 1 hour earlier for U.S. Yes. Yeah, Daryl, I think it says this Sunday, spring ahead fallback. U.S. moves their clocks up 1 hour. So Helen, was this the area? Did you see this, or were you just picking these highs? So that means you wait for the close of the retest, yes, before you take the trade. That's what I do, Helen. You got me? Now, traditionally, many people are taught when you get a close below a level, you enter short and put your stop way out here. Nothing wrong with that. If you're going to trade on the naked chart and if you're comfortable with that 40 pip stop, you got me? And if you think you've got potential for a 40 pip take profit, meaning a 1-to-1, yeah, then do that. Okay? I prefer to see this scenario because when I'm in this trade now, my stop instead of 40 now can be 25. And if I go to an even lower time frame, I can get that 25 down to maybe 10. All right? So this top area was good. Now, Helen, what I was asking you, was this the area that you targeted for this trend line? Was this the area that you were targeting for that trend line? Okay, cool. Did you notice this fake out here? Or did you not see that? It's a, again, this takes time, but this is the kind of thing you look for. When you see an area like that, are there any fake outs back here? Okay, honestly didn't notice. Okay, that's good. Nothing wrong with that. This takes time. All right. So this level I liked. And what I would have done for a secondary level is I would have marked these highs and then I would have marked the highest close. And notice how we capture both of these candles now in that. See that? We captured both of these in this area here. Let me just bring this down. This is the highest close. Okay. Let's zoom back out again. Now this, I'm not sure why you put this here. I guess you put this here because of this candle, Helen. I'm assuming you put this line here because of either this candle or this wick. I'm not sure which one. And I'm waiting for Helen to respond. This line, the left, over here. So you're saying it was this wick, Helen? Okay. That's it's okay, but it not what I would call an ideal situation. Uh, but it's okay because you've got the wick by itself. That's kind of one of the things I like to look at, like you did right here. All right, because I feel this will eventually get broken fairly easily, but it's fried. I forgot about the NFP thing. This area was very good here because this is you see how you have the spike and nothing, and you've got all this space to the left and all this space to the right. That's a strong area. So that you could mark. And you notice how we caught this little price trap in here too by marking it like that. All right, the ultimate low, you nailed it pretty well. And I would bring this up to the dominant close and mark a level down here. All right. In this area here, you put because of this one wick. That's what I'm assuming here, that this wick is what caught your eye here. Okay, nothing wrong with that. You could kind of leave that there, and when we get to pivots and stuff, you can see where we'll double up, and we may see some confirmation on it. But that was pretty good. All right. Um, all right. Let's try. Let me see who else is in here. Okay, Gene 101. Give me a pair and a time frame, please. Gene 101, if you're in here. Time frame and a pair. I don't see Gene responding just yet. He may have stepped away from the microphone. Okay, Ron 2. Ron 2. If you're there, can you give me a time frame and a pair? Hi, Ron 2. And let's see what he's coming up with. We have to go higher than 5 minutes. Oh, okay. You know what? We'll do a 5 minute for you. I prefer the higher time frame because you can only go down to a 1 minute from there. You can only go down one more time space. Um, okay, well, the 1 hour would be better. What's that? Pound CAD. All right, pound CAD 1 hour. Okay, and give me ultimate high, ultimate low. I can get rid of this. I don't need that there now. Okay, high, low, and somewhere in the center. Ron, I'm going to set you up. Just give me a second here. Ron 2. And then in the upper right-hand corner, I think where the raised hand is, maybe. You see there's a guy who's got his hand raised at the top of your Adobe. I think that's where you request the control of the mouse. Mm, no, in the drop-down box, does it give you the option to take the mouse? I don't see it on my side, so I know it may look different on your side. Just look at the upper again upper right hand side. Okay, you found it. Okay, great. Okay, all yours. And I'm letting Ron set himself up. There's centers are tricky sometimes. And again, there's no right or wrong. It does get to be a bit subjective, but you try to find things that fit rules that you're looking for. Okay, okay, so Ron is done. Let me fix the chat thingy here. All right, ultimate high, he pegged it pretty well. Again, I would bring this down just a hair, and that's my own preference. I try to, split the difference a bit. Ultimate low is okay. In the middle, now this one is just very, very tricky to look at, and it takes a while. I like this one on the bottom down here, uh, and I would go in here with this to catch this wick, catch this, and it catches this cluster here. And you see how this cluster had a bit of a fake out. It closed below, came back, but it closed above it. So it was a fake out. Do you see that? Why did you bring top wick down? Oh, Helen, sometimes if the range on this top wick gets like really wide, to me it's not really realistic. I try to bring it in a little bit, uh, just to give it uh, a bit more of a normal size. And if that is a bit tricky for you, then what you could do is look at the average size of the candles and pick a modest candle size. So I could use this candle size right here, and this is about 13 pips. So then I would try to go about that much in making my level. You got me? So maybe there. Because remember, this is only an area we're looking at. It's not like it's got to hit it right to the exact. So Helen is saying, okay, so when the size is out of proportion, you reduce it. Yes, I do, Helen. And I try to reduce it to about what a normal sized candle would be. You follow me? So I look at the largest candles, and then I'll look at the smallest candles, and this is about in the middle. It's a little subjective, but I try to use everything I do. I try to use what's on the chart. All right. Going back to answer the question, this level I like, and then if I wanted to draw a bottom on this level, I could come down to here, to this close right in here. Okay, and again, this is subjective. It takes a little time, but I like the number of hits. You see that? And we had a fake out here. Fake out is key. That tells you that they're respecting that price level. On the top, I'm looking at these candles, these wicks by themselves, and look, there's an empty space on the left, empty space on the right. So then I would bring this up to here, and I can see that I've got a cluster of candles here. So I'll come up to this dominant close right there, and I'd make this my level. You see that? Again, it's subjective. It will take a little time, and now I would take this highest close right in here, and that would be my level on this. And again, there's no right or wrong. You may draw them slightly differently, but what I'm looking at are rules that make some sense. Okay, and again, I've got the bounce, the retest, and then it fell. So that level was consistent. Here we had a close below, a retest, okay, and it did eventually go short. I can't, I can't predict where the candles would go, but I would have probably taken this short on this push out of this area because it didn't close in this box on this candle. I see someone writing a question. So this was an ugly chart to work with, but actually a good chart to work with because you have to actually really use your eyes and look a bit. And keep in mind something else I said when doing all of these. Um, oh, am I supposed to donate blood today? I just got a pop up about a blood donation. Oh no, that's Monday. Okay. Um, lost my train of thought. Oh, on these charts, when the charts get really ugly like this, they're still readable. It takes more time and more practice to be able to read them effectively. I suggest you go to another chart. That's the most powerful thing you could do is simply go to another chart. Don't sit there and get frustrated because you can't, excuse me, don't get frustrated because you can't clearly see the levels. You follow me? Go to another chart. Go to a chart that you can see clearly. This is not an exercise in beating yourself up. It's an exercise of looking for money, and the money's laying there. All right. Let me ask for another volunteer. And I still didn't get this email that I'm waiting for. So what we're going to do is anyone that wants to come in on Monday, we're going to experiment with a couple of different formats to be able to get more people in the room. All right. I'm going to attempt to do this Monday with Join Me, JoInme. And let me see if I have a link here that I could share. And they didn't send that either at the moment, but they told me it was on the way. I was hoping to be able to do this morning. But you guys can do a search on, that's the name of it, Join Me. and just go to the website. There may be a simple app you can download, and then we're going to try that Monday. It's my understanding that it will do everything we need, and I can hold up to 200 people in the room. So I want to check bandwidth and some other issues. But we'll meet here in this room first. Okay, we will meet here first, and then we'll bounce over to join me and see how that whole thing works. All right. I need another volunteer, and let's see, who do we have here? Anyone? Okay, I am going to volunteer. Okay, Sean stepped up. Time frame and a pair, Sean. And Aussie Chef 1 hour. Okay. Aussie Chef and 1 hour. Okay, all yours. Oh, just random. Okay. Sean, I'm going to, and somewhere up there, there's the option button, and I don't know. It looks different on my side. Okay. All right, you should have it now, Sean. And I'm again the silence is because I'm just watching Sean and okay, Sean is typing now. I just want to see if he's done. In the middle, okay, for the middle bit, I would like to move to the left a bit to see what would be a strong point. Okay, I got you. You wanted to move farther out this way, and I got that. Am I correct, Sean? Okay. Now, for the most part, what you did was excellent. This high was excellent. The low obviously was good. This is a real good eyes. This is very good because you caught this. We finally broke through, and there's my rule. We broke through, had a pullback, and then it took off to the next level, which we don't know that that's going to be the next level at this point. When we do support and resistance and all that, we will. Support and resistance trading. Right now, we're just practicing finding levels. So I want you to understand that this is not support and resistance trading. This is just finding the levels. And then we broke through, and then this obviously now became, this was the ceiling. We broke through the ceiling, traded up, came back, and now it's the floor, and it's proven to be a pretty solid floor. Okay? In the middle, this was very good. The other area in the middle that I saw that looked like it had some potential would be this wick by itself. because you've got a little bit of space here on one side, a little bit of space here on the other, then I would mark that high. Okay, and you see that when you put the line up, when you watch what happens here, here we had a push up, the retest, and then we never closed below this line again. You see that? So you didn't really have to go back to the left to look for a better strong spot, Sean. And again, this takes time. This is not a 1, 2, 3 thing that you're going to get it immediately. But when you learn to watch for that, you put the line and then see what's going on. If you don't see anything, take the line off. There's no law that says because you put the line, you have to make it work. But you see that we had the breakthrough, the pullback, and the pullback never closed below that level and it took off. So this would have been a nice spot here. If I had to draw a level, I would probably go out to this candle high, this guy right here. Got it? Or you can pull it down to these guys right here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks all the way across the board here. Either one is good because remember, support and resistance is going to be an area. It's not going to be that exact price. Sometimes you miss it by a pip or two. But you want the area. So when you're in the area, you can start to make a decision. And Sean has a question. When, if ever, would you move a line? I would never move it. I would move my thinking before I'd move a line. I mean, if the candles moved, yeah, then I'd move the line. Did you get what I'm saying? But once you put it there, again, make the decision. Once you put it there, you say, okay, I'm going to look for something down in this area. You understand what I'm saying, Sean? For some reason, this thing, like, let me see what's going on here. Sean, the mouse is still acting weird. Okay. Do you follow that, what I'm saying, Sean? Um, and again, let's find something down here at the bottom level. I just want to zoom in and just see if we have something that made the bottom. Oh, there we go, right here. See that? The last time we touched this was right here. Now let me open that up a little bit and let me scroll back a bit. Can't do it that way. There we go. So you see the last time we were here, what happened? Price danced around and exploded off that level. Do you see that? Now, when we do support and resistance trading, okay, right now we're just learning how to spot the levels. But when we do support and resistance trading, actually trading it, what we'll see is when we come back to this level, we know that this is going to be a strong level because, again, we've got the space to the left, space to the right, and this whole cluster of candles in here. All right. And if I were looking on the chart and saw this level, this would probably be about how I would have marked it, right at the lowest close. I want you to see this. When we get to support and resistance trading, when we come back to this level again, it's at this level we'll start looking for trade setups. Alan is asking a question, so I'm going to bring this to current time. Why is it so important to see spaces? It's important to see spaces because this essentially says there was no interest in hanging around these price points. Let me go back here. They had no interest in hanging around these price points. They were on a march up. They were on a traditional uptrend, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, pull back. They were on a mission to get somewhere. You follow what I'm saying? They had some place they wanted to go and they were going to go there. And the way they go there is in typical uptrend fashion, a drive up and a pullback, a drive up and a pullback. Same thing over here. In the downtrend, they had a mission, a push down, a pullback, a push down, a pullback. There was no interest in hanging around. Anytime you get a cluster like this, something is creating a mess in here. You got me? Like if you look at let me see how many candles this is. From here until we broke out, it's 13 candles. Okay? So now when it broke out, look at what these 13 candles did. One, two, three, four, five, six, eight of them went on a damn tear, all the way up to here if you count the 13. You got me? And look on the way down, 13 candles on the way down, traveled a hell of a distance. All of a sudden, we get 13 candles, can't get out of each other's way. You got me? Alan, cluster of candles at least in H1. It could be on any time frame. Okay, and the reason I say that, Alan, is once you see the cluster, you can always go to a lower time frame and take advantage of it. You follow me? Don't get so wrapped up that it has to be on a given time frame. Once you see it, the idea is I see a cluster. How do I take advantage of this cluster? But it's more powerful in H1 for a bigger move. Well, yes, Alan, but I can also say it's more powerful in H4 or more powerful in daily. The idea is what does the cluster represent, and then how can you make money out of it? How do you turn that into cash? You see, look, there's no interest in hanging around over here. So when you look at this area right here, you have space to the right, space to the left. There's no interest in hanging out here. They want to get past this as quickly as they can. And when price got past this level, let me get the tool. When price went past this level, went up, look what happened when it came back to the exact same level. You see that? Yeah, well, cluster is usually a breather area or a reversal area. It's usually a breather or a reversal, but it's something to be aware of. All right? Does that make sense to you, Alan? And again, we'll go over this in detail in another lesson when we talk about reversal points. All right, we haven't talked about reversals. When I see a bunch of when I see a mess like this, I'm thinking the market's going to turn around. Okay, especially if it was 10 or 15 candles to come down, and then all of a sudden 10 or 15 candles and they're all stumbling over each other. When we get to individual candles, that's a big clue. That's a big clue. All right. So what you did here for the most part was good. This was very good. Good eyes in spotting this. I just cleaned it up a little bit, and it's just one of those um, uh, personal touches. Is the best way to look at it. All right. Um, let's see. Someone else give me a time frame and a pair, please. Dave S. Dave S. Are you there? A pair and a time frame. Oh, and by the way, tell everyone that Monday we're going to be experimenting with a couple of new formats. When you go back to your other chat rooms or whatever, because I've had at least 30 requests for people that couldn't get in today, and just let them know that we're going to go to a different. We're going to experiment with some formats on Monday. All right. Okay. So Dave is saying Aussie dollar 4 hour. So let's go Aussie dollar 4 hour. And Dave S. I will make the host. And somewhere at the top, there's a thing, a drop down menu. I think that will let you request the mouse. If you look around up near the top there, Dave. Let me see what it is. I don't know where it's funny, I can't find it. Okay, you got it. Okay, good. All right, all yours, Dave. You should have the, if it's not working, requested it. No, you got it. You got it. And the silence is because I'm, just watching Dave do his thing. There's nothing wrong with your audio. I'll clean that up for you, Dave. Well, let's look in the center now. Oh yeah, I'll clean the lines up, Dave. You just keep going. Let's find something in the center. It's a little quirky, the screen share. I understand that. Again, there's nothing wrong with the audio. I'm just watching Dave for you guys that might be watching a recording of this later. Okay, Dave is typing. Okay, so Dave is done. Okay, the high and low pretty much nailed that. This is very good here, this area. I like that. We've got you've got that high, and then you can make your level there. And I would bring it down a little bit, just my own personal preference. I'd bring it down to about here to this high, because this high I catch this wick, and if I look across, I also catch this wick. This was pretty good too. This was a kind of a tough area to look at. I would go with, you see, we have a cluster of highs here, and we have a cluster of lows here. Because I want the most current information that I could use in the near future, I would look at this cluster right here. You got me? Because I want the closest information to right now, because that's where these lines will come into play. So this cluster would have been great. And then looking back someplace to put a base for this cluster, this low in here was good. All right, you could have come up a little bit to here to catch these. All right, because both of these were false breakouts. And again, that's the thing that takes a little time to see. All right, but right in here, we had a bunch of closes. We were really, it's a price trap right here. Make a long story short. But you see here, we had two fake outs. And that's that subtle thing that you look for. Okay, price broke out, made the pullback, but the pullback closed above this level. Okay, and it couldn't follow through. So that was a fake breakout. Same thing here. We closed below this level, price came back, closed back in it, fake breakout. All right. Here we have another one. We closed below. Now here was our pullback here, which would have been good. We wouldn't have entered this. I wouldn't have entered this until down here. And this one I probably would have gotten burned on. I wouldn't have had a 40 pip stop though. I would be down in here on a sniper looking for a smaller uh, stop loss, looking to keep my risk tight. But either way, I would have been picked off in here, or the market would have stopped the trade out. But you see the concept. That's really what I want you to see. And then you could get a re-entry here. But this is, key. You see the wicks, and then as I mentioned before, just put the line up and then see what it shows you. You got it? That was very, very well done. Okay. Well done. Let me get another volunteer. Um, let's see who's hiding back here. Shirley, how are you today? And to keep in mind, tell everybody to come in Monday for an hour or so. We're going to try to experiment with a couple of different formats. I missed last lesson. I would like to try again. I missed last lesson. Okay, yeah, we'll give you another shot at it. Shirley. time frame and a pair, please. Half asleep but willing and able. That's a dangerous statement, Shirley, but I'll just let that pass. Okay. GA, that's pound Aussie, 4 hour, I'm guessing. Pound Aussie, 4 hour. I think we did this already. Pound Aussie. Someone did it. Maybe you could pick a different pair. No, you know what? 4 hour. Let me clean this up. Let's get this off. We'll do it because we might not have done the 4 hour. Okay, and let me see. Shirley, I am going to. Whoop. That's weird. That's doing something altogether different. Okay. You can request. Oh, Shirley found it right off. Okay, all yours, Shirley. And my phone is going, but it will just have to go for right now. And there's nothing wrong with the audio. Um, I'm just not saying anything while she's working. Your audio is fine. I'm just not saying anything, just allowing Shirley to do her work. If you could just get it near Shirley, I'll clean it up. Yeah, I know the screen share is a bit quirky. Okay, waiting for Shirley. Shirley's done. Okay, that was very well done, Shirley. That was well done. Let me oh, there we go. Okay. She hit the key levels really, really well. Okay. I think you guys can see that in this middle level here. She looked at this area, space to the left, space to the right, and that caught this, it caught that, it caught this wick, caught that wick. The high and the low, those are well done. Also, those are becoming easier when you can get the middles the same way you can get the high and low. Then you'll see how this is just a beautiful thing to do. In here, the one difference that I would have made was to grab this high, and this is what I think it was shooting at, was to grab these highs, and then this highest close right here, right there. okay, because that caught a decent amount of highs and lows in here also. All right, that was well done, Shirley. Very well done. Now, Pavel wanted one more chance. I'm going to do something different. I am going to, Pavel, give me a time frame and a pair. And this is going to be a bit different. Euro Aussie. What time frame, Pavel? Okay, H4. All right, let me just get you set up. And okay. Now, what we're going to do, this is going to be the last one we'll do for today because I want to get, I have to call these people back and find out about this demo for next week. Okay, Pavel, I'm going to give you the, now, Pavel, don't draw anything yet. I want to ask for any volunteer with a microphone. Requested again, Pavel. It didn't go through for some reason. Request the mouse again. Okay. Now I need one volunteer that has a try to move the. It's not going through again. Why is that? Request it one more time, please. Let me try the other button. The other. Oh, you have it now. You have it now, Pavel. I guess there's a delay, but it seems that you have it now. No. Now request again. Let me try it this way. All right. Do you have it now? Okay, now you have. Wait. Don't draw anything. Don't draw anything, Pavel. I need one volunteer in the room who has a microphone. I need one volunteer in the room who has a microphone. Okay, somebody needs to step up. One volunteer. Okay, Daryl, you want to do it? All right, Pavel, you're going to draw the lines in, and then Daryl, I'm going to give him the microphone, and Daryl's going to do the critique or the examination on it. Okay, so Pavel, high, low, and points in the middle. You don't wrestle too much. We're trying to get it cleaned up. I can handle that. And there's nothing wrong with your mic, with your speakers rather. I'm just being quiet while Pavel's doing this thing. It, when you're done, well, don't use a line chart right now, Pavel, because I want to make sure that I do that lesson with everybody there. I touched on it the other day, but just draw what you can right now with the candles. And it was you were correct to go to the line chart, but I want to kind of stick with what we're doing here at the moment. Okay, Pavel is done. Okay, now Daryl, I am going to. Oh wait. Let me straighten up. Let me get Pavel done first here. All right, that's going to take us. Oh, Daryl. All right, Daryl, at the top, I need you to activate your mic, and I want you to give your analysis of what Pavel did. You see the microphone icon up at the top next to the speaker? And you just click that.
Oh,
And
okay.
there you go.
You can hear me now?
All right, can everyone hear Daryl? I can hear you. I want to make sure the rest of the room can. Okay, great. All right, Daryl, you give your analysis of what Pavel did.
Okay. Starting at the top, um, I like that is picking up that range from the high to the highest pair of closes there. That looks very good. Um, on the
Um,
bottom,
yep, one thing, Daryl,
yes.
request the mouse.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
request the mouse because if you're pointing at something, we can't see it. Okay, all yours.
Can you? I'm moving the mouse. Your mouse now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
All
you're
right. Yeah.
good.
Okay. Up at the very top, this line looks good because it's right at the very top. We have a double close here, and everything else closed below that. So I think that that should be a fairly powerful range. Um, Down at the bottom over here, uh, same thing. This line is set on the two lowest 4-hour closings, which is an area that I would
That's
pick. Plus,
technically right. But Daryl, that's technically a close and an open.
oh, okay, yeah, okay, I stand corrected. A close and an open right here, and then it also picks
Right,
up
at the same. Right.
this spike bar, and this is a beautiful bar to pick up a level at, since it's one of those high speed guys that shot way down there and then shot way back up. Um,
Right.
and then the bottom, you pick the bottom just right. Um, this level here, I also like it as it picks up some opens and closes. Excuse me, opens and closes on these candles right here. Also, that's about the same level back here. Price is rejected twice on this bar and on this bar, so I'd say that's a pretty powerful level. And right in the middle here, this does seem to be pretty good stomping grounds for price reversals. I mean, basically up here, um, price had a hard time getting through it, finally made it through it, did blast back through it and back up through it again, but you know, was was an area to separate price right here, stop price right here, and pretty much stop price right here. So, and also over here, we have a couple of wicks just touching that. So that level looks good to me also. Um, Moving up to this next level, we have wicks stopping here. Uh, Currently, the current candle is definitely hesitating right there. Um, Back through the middle, it picks up some good levels. It gets blasted through by a couple bars here, but that could be news or whatever. Um, Price is contained here, picks up the open and the close here. Price stops dead on these two, and this is a gray level here with an open and a close, and price being rejected. So I like those areas a lot, and I'm not really seeing anything else on this chart that I would that I could call significant. I mean, this is plenty of levels to, I think, to work with. So give this guy at least an A. This concludes my thoughts.
Okay, excellent. Let me just put things back where they were. Okay. Uh, your interpretation was very, very good, Daryl. One thing, and again, this will take time. When you spoke about this level, and this level in here, and these levels, you also missed right here, the close below and the pullback. You follow me? And then the pullback held. And this was a clear short down to the next level here. So that's one of the things I like to look for. Are there any fake pullbacks in here? So that was very good. That was just one thing. The other thing here is that this is a good area right here, primarily because these wicks are by themselves, and you've got space to the left and space to the right. All right, there's something in this area, so I would have marked this also. Okay, now keep in mind the reason we're finding these levels like this is that when we go to trading these levels, then you'll see where they'll come in. But I want you to be able to spot good levels first. The fact that this is all out there by itself tells me this may come into play somewhere down the road. So for instance, if these candles come through this level, let's assume we get a break of this level, and I like to see the retest, uh, and it gets back into this area, I would not be surprised to see it reject this area because of these spikes. So anytime you see something out there all by their lonesome with space to the left and space to the right, like this one, all by its lonesome, space to the left, space to the right. This wick was all by its lonesome with space to the left, space to the right. And when price came back to that wick, okay, if I clean this up a little bit and put it right at the bottom of this wick, you'll see that we never closed below it. It hit it and then took off. All right, here's another area here, not as dominant, but you get the idea. There's space on either side. Like price didn't hang around. They didn't, have coffee and chit chat and sit at the bar for a while. They hit their number and took off, kept going. All right, so that was very good. All right. Monday, as I said, for those that want to help me get a new room set up, we'll meet in here at the same time, and be prepared to jump around from website to website, and we'll try to get a new format going. All right, because I hate leaving people out and moving to a new lesson, so I really want to be as fair as I can to everybody. So, on that note, if you guys don't have any questions,